we're back again with Back to Basics with Lisa B. That's me. So I'm going to be doing these videos, one alcoholic talking to another about alcoholism, the taboo that's behind it, just literally sitting here having a chat really. I'm trying to get the word out there so that people aren't so afraid to talk about this illness we have. And if you enjoy what you hear today, I'd like you to subscribe to my channel and like it and share it. Thank you very much. So Charlie's come to talk to me today. Hello Charlie.
Hello Lisa.
And how are you today?
I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah.
this guy's come all the way over to have a chat with me on public transport. quite a way, but we're going to talk about how bad alcoholism is and how good it gets. So how long have you been sober now, Charlie?
I've been sober for 27 months now.
Brilliant.
27 months.
You stopped while you're quite young, which is a good thing.
Yeah, 32 I was. But I started young.
Yeah, don't we all? So, do you want to start off with just go back to your childhood or wherever you want to start really?
Yeah.
How things all started for you?
So my childhood, I was born in London. Just a working class family. My dad was a postman. My mum had me when she was young. So it was a normal sort of upbringing. It's kind of the drinking sort of culture in the family, but I mean everyone, sort of all the families were like it. So it wasn't anything different. So it wasn't that got me to what I was, but.
Was there a lot of drink around your house and that, or?
No, not really. My dad never drank at home. My mum and dad didn't drink at home.
They used to go to the pub, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. My dad weren't into drinking at home, but my nan liked a few at home and stuff like that, but nothing major. I didn't see much at home when it came to drinking.
Either. It's the norm now, though, isn't it? Everyone. Before I gave up drinking, it was just the norm to go around people's houses and drink would come out, not a cup of tea anymore.
Yeah.
It was. Do you want a beer? Do you want a glass of wine?
Yeah, yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah,
It never used to be like that back in the day, did it?
No, it was quite.
You'd have a cup of tea.
But I used to go to the pub with them.
Yeah.
So my mum and dad, that was normal then, like in the 90s. My mum and dad took me along.
When you was a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, we used to have to wait outside with a bottle of Coke.
Yeah, I used to sort of sit in there with my family, but I loved it.
Yeah.
The cheese and onion crisps, watch the football.
Yeah.
I used to like watch all the adults that were drinking. I had a little bit of a strange sort of fascination with pubs and.
I always loved pubs. I loved them.
Yeah.
I always did.
Yeah.
That was the thing I was going to miss a lot, but you find other stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I thought that too. The other day I walked past the pub, and the smell sort of got me. I just. Oh.
Honestly, I still like it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of like.
I don't go into them very often anymore because it's just not worth it. I heard someone say once when I first came in, if you keep going to a hairdresser's, you'll get a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So there's no point in going to pubs if you can't drink, is it really?
No.
It's too tempting.
It is, yeah. I've been to a couple, but for meals.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, lots of people are different. I've got a friend who's in recovery and he's been to a few pubs and he seems to get on all right. He knows his sort of.
Be careful though.
He's got an exit plan, you know what I mean. But he goes there he checks his motives for the right reasons. But it's not often. But I just decide that I'm coming out of them.
Yeah. And it's also when you're. I mean, we must have been on the other end of this because it's so boring watching people getting drunk.
Yeah,
watching people get drunk when you're stone cold sober, isn't it?
It's weird.
Anyway, we've gone off the track. Let's go back to your growing up.
So yeah, growing up. So yeah, I sort of moved to East London, and it was a rough place. It was tough. So I lived in Pimlico till I was about 7, and then we moved to East London, and it was just a different area completely, and I didn't know it at the time because it's all I knew. But I sort of got involved in things I shouldn't have from quite a young age. I was a little bit Well, I say a little bit. I was a mischievous lad. You know, at home I'd be all right, but outside I was a bit.
Did you mix with the naughty kids?
Yeah, I always did. Yeah,
I did too.
I always did. I didn't. I don't think there was any kids that weren't mischievous and naughty. There was
Well,
somewhere.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was different. It was just like you got to fit in.
Was you on a council estate?
Yeah,
so,
council estate.
And most of the kids were naughty, but there was. See, I had the council estate friends that were naughty, then I had the friends I went to school with, which was sort of a different area. They weren't so.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah. It was a good laugh though. I enjoyed it, but I think when I go back and look at it, I don't often, but I always sort of felt a bit different. I
think we're all like that.
I was a bit of an actor. You know, I could be funny with some people. I could pretend to be a bit tough with others. You know, I sort of hanged around with some of the geeks at school, but then I never really stuck with a group. I was always sort of ducking and diving and just getting up to things. Yeah, I felt a bit odd, a bit different.
It's hard to explain, isn't it? I know exactly what you mean though.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Like you don't fit in, sort of thing.
Yeah, don't fit in. So I think when I got to about 13, a lot of the older lads were smoking hash. So back then it was like puff, they called it.
But 13, that's quite young, isn't it?
Yeah, 13, and it was. I didn't really want to do it, but I was always one of them kids that wouldn't say no. And I always wanted to be sort of part of a crowd.
See, it's a different generation. See, when we were growing up, I didn't come across any drugs or that when I was a teenager. And I remember people talking about it, but I didn't come across any of it. I remember hearing about cocaine and marijuana and all that, but it was never ever apparent. But ours was just drink.
Yeah.
We'd all experiment with. I suppose there must have been people, but it was never in my circle. I think by your age group, it got more and more the drugs, didn't it?
Yeah, it was everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, I got introduced to that, and I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, from the start, and I used to scrap up any pocket money I had or anything to get it, and we would go over the park with cider, all like that sort of.
Yeah. We did that.
Smoke a load of puff and drink cider and sort of wake up in tents, and you know what I mean. It used to be. It seemed harmless, but I was even at that age going way over the top compared to my friends.
Yeah.
I would drink
Get drunk.
a whole bottle of cider, throw up, be sick.
And it still didn't put you off.
It didn't put me off. No, it felt. I don't remember my first drink, but I remember feeling like this is quite good. This is because. All of a sudden I felt like brave, fitting in. It was just nice. It just sort of, I can't explain it, but it just felt, well, like I'm meant to do it.
See, a lot of people talk like this, but I never really had that. I just got really drunk and really sick, but really wanted to still do it.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was giving me confidence. I didn't know what it was doing for me because I was too young to even know. But I still wanted to do that thing that was making me feel sick and horrible. I can't understand that.
Yeah, it's
I'm an
weird.
alcoholic.
Yeah, it's weird. My first drink, proper drink, I sneaked off. I told my nan it was in a caravan site in Bognor, and I sneaked off and I told my nan I was sleeping in a tent.
Did you live with your nan?
No, she had a caravan.
Oh, okay.
So I used to come visit her,
yeah.
and a little sort of group of us sort of decided we were going to get drunk. So I lied to my nan, told her I was sleeping in a tent, and drank vodka, lots of it, and ended up getting arrested at 14. And the next day I was really ill, and I remember thinking, I can't wait to do that again.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Mental,
like the
isn't it?
stories and it was so like.
That would put people off, wouldn't it? I don't want to get like that again.
Yeah,
I tried that. It's horrible. No, we can't wait for the next time, innit? Counting the days down.
I know.
Do it again.
I know. You think that? Yeah. So that was me really. Cannabis at a young age. Drink wasn't a thing to start with.
Did you feel you had to have cannabis all the time? Or was you kind of
every day.
on that? Yeah.
Every day. So by 14, 15, I was hooked on it.
And what about your mum and dad? Did they? No.
Didn't have a clue. No. Didn't have a clue.
Did they ever have cannabis? Or
No.
No, they weren't into
No,
that.
they were against it completely. My dad was anti-drugs.
Yeah.
My mum didn't do
Yeah.
drugs. You know,
And were they normal drinkers?
they were just social drinkers. Just social drinkers.
Because their era wasn't with the drug scene or that either, was it? They didn't understand that.
No. But some of like my uncles were, you know, sort of in that sort of
Oh, were they?
early 90s sort of rave scene.
Yeah.
But my dad weren't into that sort of rave sort of culture. But yeah, my uncles were sort of into that rave scene. I mean, that's where a lot of it started.
Right,
So,
cousin was into that.
but yeah, I was addicted to cannabis early on, and I knew it too.
Really?
Yeah, it was the most weird feeling because I was still a kid.
See, I never thought about that being an addictive thing, but it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it was
Because I think people can
addictive.
pick that up and put, never really thought about that one.
It was really addictive.
Yeah.
So I would I got to a point with cannabis that I didn't have any money, and I'd go and thieve.
It's good.
So we'd go and steal around the area, bikes, shops, whatever we could get our hands on. We would nick it.
Did you have to be in some substance to do that?
Usually
Do the thieving?
usually without, but needed it.
Yeah.
So it was usually 9 times out of 10. We didn't have any money, we couldn't get it, so we went and got it at like 14, really
By the
young.
means, yeah.
You know, going into shops and stealing bouncy castles and sort of stuff to
Oh,
order.
snowfish.
Stuff to order, yeah, really
Bouncy
crazy
castle.
thing. Yeah. Stuff to order. So if someone was having a party and they wanted a bouncy castle, would go and nick it.
Yeah.
Football shirts, bikes, you know, really sort of.
So people were asking you what to get then.
Yeah, and we would do that, sell it, and just buy drugs, just buy cannabis with it. And as we started getting older, cocaine sort of came on the scene
Yeah.
when I was 15.
Really?
15.
Young, innit?
Yeah, I was
So you're at school at this time?
at school. Yeah, I was at school, and I was at a house sort of get together, and this couple of lads had cocaine, and I really didn't want to do it.
So it was very available to you, wasn't it, everything?
Everywhere,
Where you
yeah.
came from.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
We all were doing it from a young age.
Yeah. So you didn't feel any different at that point, did you, if all your mates were the same?
No,
Doing all the same thing, yeah.
no, we didn't. Everyone, literally, all the lads I was with, we all did it. We just did it. But I didn't want to do that. I remember thinking that's a step up from cannabis. You know, I'd been brought up to, you know, to think about things like that big time, and I just did what I always done and sort of give in. Oh, okay, I'll
Just
try
one of
it.
the
Oh,
crowd,
go on then,
yeah.
and I did, and I remember thinking, oh, what have I done? You know, and it was a strange one because it wasn't like cannabis and alcohol for me. I didn't straight away. I thought, oh, I'm not gonna do that again.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought, don't really like that. It's not for me. You know, I can't sleep, awake, confused. I thought, no, I'm not going to be taking that again.
Famous last words.
But I did, yeah. And so skipping forward, when I got to 18, I decided to stop smoking. I didn't really decide. I was with a lovely girl at the time, and
So you're still getting away with all this from your parents? No one's cracking onto it?
the cannabis towards the end, yeah. Yeah, they were seeing it. I had some falling outs with my dad, and rightly so. You know, I was rebellious. You know, from up to 12, I wasn't, you know, such a bad lad. But 13 onwards, as soon as I discovered drugs, I just rebelled against everything, and they didn't know. I kept it big time a secret, and I don't think they expected it. Not at my age. I don't think they realised just how rife it was and how it was everywhere. You know, but that's still not an excuse because a lot of my friends didn't do it. But
No.
I was the one that always thought, go on then. So yeah, it was a strange time, but I met this girl, and I decided to. Through being nudged a bit and pressured to stop smoking cannabis because I was starting to just laze around.
Yeah.
I couldn't go work. I was skipping everything really just to get stoned and stay at home and play my computer. You know, when I should have
It's
been.
like life, is it?
You know, it was a very strange life that I was living, and by then my mum and dad had moved away from London, and I stayed with this girl, and yeah, I stopped smoking cannabis, but all I did was just switch over. I went to start going to pubs because I had my ID.
So you still needed something to make you feel differently.
Yeah. I just switched.
Yeah.
I didn't stop really, but I just stopped
We
smoking.
don't understand why we're doing it, do we? We don't get it
No.
until.
No, but I loved the atmosphere in the pubs. It was quite exciting than sitting in my room.
Well, it's not. Another thing, I say this as well. It's not always all bad, is it? Some of my drinking days were okay. I had times when it was all right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the end. You know, 'cause I used to love getting dressed up, going out, and but then the beginning I was kind of rolling drunk, but at the end it's just horrific. But sometimes it was all right. And I wish, I prayed it would. I prayed when I first stopped drinking I could have gone back to that. But we know it's a progressive illness and it just gets worse and worse, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And looking back, I think I was.
Did you get drunk straight from the off?
Yeah, I was pretty doomed from the off. From the off, because I used to smoke cannabis all day and all night. So when I started drinking, I
So you literally all your waking hours would be smoking.
I'd smoke all day. Yeah, I would.
That's not a life.
I'd function
kid, is
reasonably.
It?
Yeah, but that
Would
was.
you work it doing a job and that?
In and out of work because of it. I was notoriously unreliable. I was a really confusing person. I'd work hard, and then I wouldn't be in, and then I'd come back, and then I'd have excuses. So I'd lose a job, and then I'd end up working for agencies, and I just, I didn't do college, apprenticeships. My dad and people tried to get me down that route, and I thought I knew better. I want to go work earn some money because I wanted to get paid, so I could go out and get drunk, and, do what I had to do.
Sad,
so
isn't it, really?
yeah, I didn't do anything really. Driving, none of that was on my mind.
You still got time now, haven't you?
Oh yeah,
No,
that's the
nice
joy
and
of it.
sober.
That's the joy of it. Yeah, that's the joy of it. But yeah, when I say I was sort of doomed from the off, like, I think my mates knew it. We used to have a thing called Wednesday Men's Day. We used to meet up in the pub to watch Champions League, and from the off, I could never just have a few.
Because you were the
Drunkest,
Yeah.
and in there till it closed with all the oldies, and then I'd go.
You go out thinking, I'll just have a couple. I won't get drunk tonight. I line my stomach. I'll drink some milk.
I was a weird one because I never really even fancied having 2 or 3. I hated that idea. I was going to go and get drunk, and sometimes after losing a certain amount of jobs and getting in trouble, I did think, well, I've got to slow down, but I could never do it.
Do you know, I thought, and I really mean this, and it sounds so stupid, but I thought everyone went out to the pub to get drunk.
Yeah.
You didn't just go there to have a drink.
Yeah.
I think that was my mentality.
Yeah.
But up until recently, I felt like that. But then now I've got friends at work that just drink, they have a couple, and I know people that have a couple of drinks, but I was in that pub thinking everyone is here to get absolutely smashed off their trolley.
Yeah, I did too.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But the thing is though, is that I saw people that weren't alcoholic doing that.
Yeah.
But
A lot of people we associate with are heavy drinkers, aren't they?
yeah, but once every few months.
Oh yeah.
Like they'd be really bad sometimes.
Yeah.
But with me, it was every
That's
time.
every time, yeah.
And I became a bit of a laughing stock. But not in such a like the village drunk. But I would do the stupid things, and I'd be
he'll do it.
Charlie do it, Charlie go on, and that was me from the off. Always trying that before drink. Dares. I'll do the biggest thing. I was always getting in trouble.
It's funny at the time, though, isn't it? But
yeah, trying to impress people. So yeah, drinking in pubs at 18. But when I was 20, my girlfriend at the time fell pregnant.
When you was 20?
And I was 20, yeah, and I thought...
I'm saying that, I was 20 when I got pregnant. I'm going, wow, you think the kids men seem younger, don't they?
Yeah, my mum was 17 when she had me.
My mum was 17 when she had her
17, yeah, amazing. I used to go to parents' evening, and the teachers would say,
Is that your
it's your sister.
girlfriend? Your sister?
Yeah. But so yeah, at 20, she fell pregnant, and we were happy, but she kind of wasn't involved in the drug side of it at all, actually. But it was night clubbing.
Yeah.
Ministry of Sound, and
I was into all that.
she would drive, and we would just have a good time. But I mean, I think looking
Wasn't that
back,
taking ecstasy and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was all like taking it easy and
I'm sure
dancing.
your girlfriend was like that as well.
Not really, no. She just had a drink and she had a couple. She was a bit of amazing, really, because she would just drive. You know,
You get off your nut.
yeah, and my mates would get in the back, and you know what I mean. And I think she didn't come from that sort of life, so she sort of embraced it. But when she got pregnant, clearly she was a lot more mature. Yeah, mature and responsibility. She embraced it. But when she was pregnant, I was still doing the same things.
It didn't pull the reins in, but you can't because you've got this in you. You can't.
Yeah. And that's the
Can't
first
stop.
time I remember thinking, I can't be doing this, even at 20. And then I made the mistake of drinking. Someone told me about the hair of the dog.
Oh yeah.
So I had a bad hangover, and they said if you have a drink in the morning, your hangover goes. And I did it, and I could not believe it. My hangover went, but I was drunk. So
Just topping yourself
I was
up.
just stupid, but I thought, wow, I found a hangover cure. It's not a hangover cure, it's just drinking again. So I started getting into that in my early 20s, and that was more secretive than I'm going out on Friday
That was the
night.
start of a slippery slope.
The big
wasn't it?
slippery slope, yeah. And I was disappearing when she was pregnant, you know, for 2-3 days at a time. You know, the poor girl was at, in a little flat, and I'm just out. And I didn't really, if I'm honest, I loved her to bits, and I didn't want to do that to her. But the problem was I couldn't say no to going out, and I didn't know then that I was never able to drink like normal people.
Yeah.
So I was just going on huge benders and then getting remorseful and sorry, I'll never do it again. And so the time she had the baby, we lasted a year after that, and she decided to call it a day, and rightly so, because I was just getting worse. I was
You was very young to have this, weren't you? 'Cause
yeah.
very young.
Yeah, I was in trouble, really. I was drinking every other day, but the morning drinks were creeping in, and I was unreliable again. I lost a
So
job.
how old was you when you started morning drinking in your 20s?
Morning drinking, yeah. I was
that's young,
I was
isn't it?
20, yeah, 20 years old.
And getting drunk in the mornings, being drunk.
Oh, I wouldn't stop. Yeah, yeah. That's the part of it. You know, it wasn't like I was having a couple of Foster's tops and then I was just all right for the rest of the day.
No,
I would drink the rest of the day, and then I would have the worstest hangover imaginable because I've gone on, and then I'd be in bed feeling sorry for myself,
well, it's just
throwing up. You know, I was like, I wasn't even in the world really. And then Monday would come, and I can't make it to work.
And you wasn't like depressed and thinking, oh, I'm trying to black things out, and that was you. Or you just literally fell into it.
Nah, yeah, I fell into it. But
A lot of people are like numbing themselves and sedating themselves. I don't suppose you was too young to.
as time went on, yeah, but not then.
Okay.
Then I had like I kind of had this sort of self-sabotage, but I didn't really know it. I liked the whole sort of
Drama.
rock and roll, nuts, crazy drugs.
Because you were still young, weren't you?
I thought it was cool. I used to like rock stars and bands and Kurt Cobain and Hendrix and all that sort of mad life they lived. And I was just mental, really. Just thinking that was just, yeah. I remember thinking in my early 20s that I'm never going to stop this. This is brilliant.
Really?
Yeah, this is mental.
Even though things were falling around you.
Yeah. So she finished it with me, and rightly so. And
While she was still pregnant.
no,
After.
my little boy was 1. I came home one day after a bender, and she packed her. She just said, "Go, I'm done." And I said, "What? Where am I going to go?" And she went, "I don't know, but I can't do it. You know, I've got a little boy." And it's sad because I really loved him.
Yeah.
I loved him, but I didn't really know how to be a dad. I couldn't keep a job. I was drinking all the time. I was a massive
It's an
letdown.
illness that makes you really selfish. I've said this before, and people won't understand why, you know, how you can do that when you've got this little dear child and I had 2 teenage boys. How could you do that? But you would literally walk over them
Yeah,
to get a drink. 'Cause that pull is so strong, isn't it?
it's
so strong, and you know you don't want to be doing it, but that's what I'm trying to make people understand. It's an illness,
yeah.
And you know, once you put that drink into you, you can't. All games are out. It's all over, isn't it?
Yeah. A couple of weeks before we broke up, I went for a job interview with a friend, and we got the job, and we decided to go for a drink, and went for a drink, and once I started, I couldn't stop. And I was getting a bit of an idea then that was the case, but I always tried to think, no, I'll be alright. So we went for a couple of drinks, and I ended up 6-7 drinks in, and I got a phone call from my ex-partner, and she said, I'm really ill, I've got the flu, there's no one here to look after our son, can you please come home and look after him? And I couldn't. I came home, I had a bath, got dressed and went out.
Selfish, isn't it?
Because I'd already started drinking, and that is still really haunts me.
Yeah.
And that was really early on, but that was what happened every time I had a drink. It didn't matter, I weren't stopping.
Yeah.
And that was from then. So that was a couple of weeks before we broke up. So, you know, I moved. I couldn't stay in London, couldn't afford it. I was only 22. And I moved to Bognor Regis. And,
How come?
well, because my mum and dad moved down here, and they helped me. They got me a flat.
That's where I moved to Bognor just when I first gave up drinking, so my mum.
Yeah, they got me a flat, and
they always come to the rescue, don't they? Without mum and dad.
Yeah, my mum and dad just wanted the best for me, really. And they knew, well, they didn't know them, but I think they knew London weren't working for me. And yeah, they got me a flat which I rented, and I was set up with a job early on, and once again I had another chance.
A lot of people with drink problems, they do what they call a geographical. So they think they're going to move, and that'll sort me out.
Yeah.
I'll be better now.
I thought that. I thought that too. I'm going to be alright now.
Yeah.
But it was a flat on the seafront above a pub, and I was a bit lonely, and I just went to the pub, and off I went.
What else is an alcoholic going to do?
Yeah, I went to the pub, and it was quite nice. See, this is the really sort of sad thing that I've struggled to talk about, really, is that I played the victim the whole time. My missus broke up with me. I've lost my son. You know, my poor boy, he's got no dad, even though he didn't anyway, really.
Because we're self-absorbed at that point. That's what it is.
But deep down, when I was in that flat, there was a part of me that was like, this is it, this is brilliant. I've got no one to ag me, no responsibilities. I can get drunk when I want, I can do what I want. And that's secretly what I felt. And because I was like that, I had opportunities to see my son at weekends, but I would always drink at the wrong time. So my date to see him would always be a Saturday, and I would drink on a Friday night, and then I would just continue drink, cancel. So I was still a letdown then, even with the chance to see him.
Did you have intentions to see him?
I did.
Then you started drinking and it'll...
I had intentions to see him, I loved him. I used to look at his photo all the time, I used to get, you know, I really loved him. I just couldn't, I don't know, it was really a bad situation because I chose to drink. You know, the Friday night, finish work, sun's out, you know, the mind would say, yeah, you'll be alright. Have a couple of drinks tonight, you deserve it. And then I'd have the other sort of, no, you know, you've got your son tomorrow. I'd battle that.
I'll be alright, I'll only have a couple.
I'd battle that in my own head, and then before you know it, I'm in the pub, you know, 6 drinks in, and I'd be like, well, maybe I'll see him next week. And eventually she said, no, you ain't doing that either. And once again I became the victim of that, because I was lying to my family that if you stop me seeing him,
it's all her fault.
It's her fault, you know, and it wasn't.
You hear this a lot, don't you? I've heard people in my life saying these kind of stories, and you think, that's so out of order, why can't they see their child? And then you don't know the big picture, do you?
Yeah, there's always two sides, isn't there? And her side, you know, now she was in the right. She was always in the right, actually. Yeah, so I was in this flat, and it didn't take long for me to get evicted. It became a party flat. I had everyone and anyone up in my flat getting drunk, and the poor girl downstairs, she had to stay at her mum's at the weekend. She had a little baby, and I found out that she had to go and stay at her mum's at the weekend because she couldn't sleep with her baby.
Confront you.
And there was me up there, you know, ruining another life through my drinking, you know, and another baby. So I got evicted from there, and the flat was in an absolute dump, turmoil, just carpets up, holes in the walls, the doors at the hinges because I got drunk and lost my key. So instead of trying to get a key the next day, I booted the door in. You know, and I woke up and I didn't know how it happened, and that's when I realised I was starting to have blackouts. I was starting to go hours and hours without even knowing where I'd been, and waking up in situations like that, doors off hinges, strange people, really weird situations, and
it's horrible, isn't it?
it was
bloody horrible. When you're sitting here today, all clean and tidy and sensible, and you can't. I mean, I've got a story. Like things. You just can't believe you went. Why did we do it for so long? And it's so horrible, isn't it? Don't find the answer. Man, you found your answer quicker than me. But I think your journey started sooner.
My journey started at about 30.
No, I mean started drinking earlier.
Oh yeah,
I did a bit.
Yeah, and
my kids filled my hole in the soul for a long time. They still do now, but I settled down younger.
Yeah.
When I got older, my drinking got bad.
Yeah.
Everyone, we've got the same thing, but the stories are slightly different, aren't they? Some people go straight into it. That sounds like you did.
Yeah, straight into it, because I had the chance to fill that hole in the soul because I had a baby.
Drink was doing that, though, wasn't it?
But I'd already been, you know, 6-7 years in, really, at 20.
That's bad, isn't it?
And that was, that was, you know, not ideal at 20, really, having 6-7 years of drugs and drinking. So I got evicted, and I went back to my mum and dad's. They let me back, and I was getting in trouble by then. In these blackouts, I could get violent. So I've been arrested for ABH and
don't even know you've done it.
Not even know I've done it. Waking up in police cells, don't know why I'm there. You know, waking up in ambulances, broken noses. You know, my nose has been broken. I've been, I've been badly beat up.
It's amazing some of us are still alive, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I explained this before. I don't know if you did, I thought blackout was you go and have a drink, you come home, you go to bed and you black out. But you're actually walking, talking, acting, doing, like you're awake, but you have absolutely no memory of it.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never knew that till I stopped drinking.
It's like a scary film, actually. You wake up.
What have I done? Where have I been?
Cells.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get into a cell, luckily, but
No.
that's only because I didn't get caught drink driving.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I never drove. Lucky. Yeah. I think that was meant to be. I was too busy getting drunk and spending my money on crap. So, looking back, if I was driving, I would have without doubt. And that's quite tragic. So
even that, you say, I'm only going to have a couple. Like, no alcoholic can do that. No alcoholic can do that.
No, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And that's what I tried to do right up to the end.
You can't. It is actually impossible.
It is impossible. Yeah. I can't even dream of it. The odd thought pops in my head. Like I might see some pink rum that looks innocent and fruity.
But that passes. That gets less and less and less.
It
does.
is.
I never ever think about alcohol anymore.
Yeah,
and
that's amazing.
At the beginning I did, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, why me? Oh, Then I heard that they'd made this alcoholic drink for alcoholics. You only have 2 and you get to that stage and then you're all right. And I really believed this. I thought it was in the paper. Someone had told me about it. And I thought, if I could do that. But you get to a stage now, like I'm nearly 11 years now, and you just don't, it's not on my agenda at all.
Yeah.
Don't think about it, luckily. Because,
amazing.
Yeah, it is. I didn't think it would ever go away, the actual thinking, I wish I could. It has, 100%.
Yeah.
And the only thing I wish is I'd done it sooner. I wish I had done it when I was your age, you know, given up earlier.
Yeah, I think we're all like some people progress at different times too, don't they?
And you have to be at the right. I always say you have to be cooked, properly cooked, before you can. Because you know, my mum used to say, "I'll give out my boys." You just say, you know, "Mum, stop drinking." You want to, but until you get that kind of, it's like that surrender and I can't do this no more. You're rock bottom. But not everyone gets that though. I've heard lots of stories where people have jumped off sooner rather than get so bad. Which I wish I could have done that, but some people have to get right to the bottom of the. I got that way.
I also wish I could have you know easily have looked at it at 22, 23 and gone, whoa. This
but
ain't
you're
normal.
young and you think your mates are all
doing
it and everyone's doing it.
It's all right then, isn't it? Everything's normal.
I don't think a lot of people would have looked at it at that age and thought, I've got a drink problem. You think all your mates are doing it.
Yeah, and we were. We were, but people grew out of it.
Right, so you've been chucked out.
So so I'm back at my mum's now. Yeah, I'm back at my mum's and I go out on a night out and I meet this girl called Laura, lovely, and Lovely Laura. I'm still with her now. Unbelievably, I'm still with her now. You know, she had a little boy, and she was funny, and we got on. And I just thought, wow, this is great. You know, I've met someone, and.
Was she a drinker?
Not really, no, she wasn't. She liked a Friday night, Saturday night out here and there. She wasn't a drinker. You know, she didn't drink in a week. She wasn't bothered really. And you know, after a few weeks, it wasn't long. She asked me to move in.
Did she know how heavy you?
No.
Okay.
I was drinking. She saw bits, but I don't think it took long after that. But I could get away with it. I was a bit of a manipulator. You know, I won't do it again, I'm sorry, you know, and then I could maybe do a week, 2 weeks, you know, go to restaurants and, you know, try and make amends all the time. Well, I wasn't making amends then, it was just sort of being sorry. Yeah, I won't do it again. And, you know, she fell pregnant with my daughter Amy. And I thought that would be it then. I thought, you know, this will fix me. I was 25 then, and I thought, this is it now. Because I was still getting in a lot of trouble, and I was still going on benders, still disappearing.
So did you become estranged from your little boy then?
Yeah. I haven't seen my son for 12 years.
Is that something you're working on now?
Yeah, I want to see him, yeah. I really do. It's there's going to be a process involved in it, because it's been so long. Yeah. But yeah, I miss him, but I had that guilt anyway, and it felt like a blessing when Amy came, and I remember thinking, I'm going to do this for her. I'm going to really slow down. I'm not going to stop drinking, because I don't need to stop. You know, I'm only 25. I'll just drink, once a month. When Arsenal are playing, I'll go and have a few drinks and watch Arsenal, and I drink like my dad does, a few Budweisers, a Chinese, and then I'll go to bed. But deep down, I knew I couldn't, and I was progressively getting worse and worse, and then my mental health then was really, for the first time, I knew what depression was. Okay. You know, I was. The thing is, when I was blacking out and doing this stuff in blackout and continuously doing it, even though I knew it was absolutely destroying my life, and then fighting and doing it again and going in that cycle of crap, I just got to the point where I was like, this is just horrible, but I didn't want to stop, which is weird. I just wanted to be able to control it. So I went to a place.
You don't know there's a way out either, do you?
No.
You don't know how to do it.
I didn't think there was a way out, actually. I just thought you either learn how to drink like a gentleman, or I don't know. I didn't really know. I should have known. I'll get to that point. But so Laura had put up with me by then, and our relationship was very weird. It was because of me, but she kind of Well, she mothered me in a way.
Okay.
I think she pitied me, which is quite sad
Mm.
because there was a half decent bloke there.
She saw something, didn't she? She
You know,
saw
and we
it,
used
yeah.
to do a lot of things, but I was starting to mentally I was hurting her, and in my blackouts, you know, I could get very, very vicious with my words, and I would say things that I wouldn't say to my worst enemy, to a woman I loved.
It's weird, isn't it?
And I did some things I regretted, and
She should buy you though.
I brought back people that I shouldn't have to a little flat where my kids were. She didn't have a say in it, you know, and I started doing that. Just like when I had my flat on my own, I was doing that with my family, and that wasn't right, you know. And so Amy didn't stop me drinking, Laura didn't stop me drinking, all the stuff, you know, This Is It didn't start, and Alfie was born a few years later. Same thought pattern. This will help me now, I'll stop. And then I decided, when I get to 30, I'll call it a day.
You're just putting off the inevitable.
Yeah,
all the time.
when I get to 30, I'll just stop drinking. That's right, I'll just
Like
stop.
that, yeah.
I can do it. I'll tell everyone, I'll stop if I want to. Just stop, no problem.
Simple as that.
Yeah, but I knew I couldn't. And mental health crashing. I managed to keep a job for 8 years because it was a very flexible job with amazing managers, and I worked bloody hard when I was there.
Was you drinking on the job?
Not on the job, no. You know, I managed. That wasn't a thing for me. I never drank on the job. You know, after work, yeah, of course. The morning before work, 9 times out of 10 I wouldn't. But I managed to keep a job. But I was sick a lot, and I used to blame mental health for it. I used to get signed off sick, but I wouldn't look at it. By then, because I'd been to doctors and been prescribed medication and seen a counsellor, I then thought, no, it's not the alcohol and the drugs, it's my mental health, which
Like,
is
it's
ridiculous.
Just blaming stuff, isn't it?
It's ridiculous because the doctor would tell me, you know, do you drink a lot of alcohol? And I'd say, not really.
Much.
Do you take drugs? No. And then they'd say, well, I don't understand it. You know what? You know, why ain't medication working?
Doctors don't understand it though.
But I wasn't honest with them. That's the
But they
problem.
don't anyway.
No.
So
Yeah, no,
it's talking to another alcoholic or a group of alcoholics that
exactly.
stops us, and abstinence,
That's what changed it for me. So
control drinking and all that stuff.
I went to a place that gave me a drinks diary and said, if you can drink this and drink that, you know,
It's
and
ridiculous, isn't it?
I ended up not doing that.
No,
Because
can't.
I can't. Yeah, you know, and that was a big eye opener, because then I realised that, okay, this place can't help me. Nothing really can help me. Having kids, so then I just had a massive amount of self-hatred. You know, I'm a scumbag. A lot of shame and guilt for what I'd done in previous relationship and a relationship that I'm in now. I'm letting everyone down. Family are always worried about me. Off work, unreliable.
Coming to your rock bottom, isn't you?
I'm coming up to it big time, but I couldn't deal with all those feelings of guilt and shame and remorse all the time, and I was a vicious blackout, nasty piece of work when I was in
There's
blackout,
still a conscience in there. That's
It
what
was
I
there.
always say.
pulling at me,
Yeah.
pulling at me, you know. And I didn't stop at 30, you know, so
So that plan didn't happen.
no, I thought I could just go to work and stay at home and play my computer. I became a recluse.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Even, that's not life either, is it?
That was terrible, and
Yeah.
I thought, well, I got to the point where I was like, this is the
I
worst
was
life
scared to
ever.
go out.
And friends of mine, my good friends that I knew and friends that were good for me, I stopped getting invited out. I stopped getting invited to weddings because I blacked out at a wedding and caused a lot of drama. I couldn't be trusted anywhere with drink around. So I then started knocking around, and it's not their fault because they were just like me, but other people that were drinking like me.
Yeah.
So we were all pretty much in the crap, and it just got really messy very quickly, you know, and I got very, very suicidal.
Did you?
Well, I was at a crossroads in my life where I'm thinking, I know now that I can't drink 3 or 4, but I keep trying to attempt it, and I've got no defence against it. There's nothing I can do. So what are the options? Live like this, miserable, let everyone down, progressively guaranteed get worse, or maybe try something and
We don't for once think giving up's a good. We don't ever once think that we can live without it. Do we?
I couldn't.
No.
I thought it was my character.
Yeah.
I thought I wouldn't be able to make eye contact with people at times. I thought I wouldn't be able to make people laugh. I wouldn't be able to.
And you think it's your best friend. You think it's.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it up. And it's killing you.
Killing me,
It's killing you.
Yeah, and ruining everyone around me, and it's telling me.
Killing your family, killing you, your family. It's a ripple effect, isn't it? Everyone around you.
Everyone around me.
But you're still thinking, poor me. Oh, I've got to give it up. And thank God we did. And what a lovely life you can have.
Yeah.
If only we could know that.
I know.
At the time.
I look at pictures of me a few years ago, and I look back with sympathy for me.
That poor thing. Yeah.
And I think, wow. But I'm also very grateful. So
because another thing, not a lot of people stop and stay stopped as well. So you have to think of yourself lucky every day.
Yeah.
Because a very small statistic of people stay stopped.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is, but it's very small.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And getting this compulsion removed as well.
I understand it because the compulsion was brutal.
Mm.
It was on me.
All the time, isn't it?
Yeah. Days where I was just having a good day, really, and I'd be putting some timber out at work, and the thought would start, and then it would go on and on and on.
It's horrible.
I couldn't fight it, and then I'd end up in the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew about like a 12-step group that my uncle went to. My uncle's got over 25 years sobriety in this group, and I thought,
we're not advocating AA, but we both go to AA. But
it was AA.
It's to get the word out there, not to advocate AA.
Yeah.
But that's how you get sober.
Yeah.
Talking to another alcoholic.
And I just thought, why not? But I wasn't there. I thought I was in a bit of denial still. And the compulsion.
It seems like the last resort, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I remember
have I really got to do that?
Yeah, I sat in the meeting and thought, oh no.
Oh,
And I was.
this is what my life has come to.
I was suicidal deep down, and I didn't really want to live, and I was battling, and I was letting everyone down, and I was letting myself down daily. And I was sat in this meeting, my first meeting, and I went, I feel sorry for all these people. They've got to come here.
Oh,
They've got to come sit
life.
in here. Oh.
It's good though, isn't it?
But it's the first time, it's the first time I ever heard someone talk about alcoholism, and then I thought, oh my word, that's me. That is me. And this person was a completely other end to me. Female, middle class, different job role, completely. And I thought, oh my word, that's what I do. And that was the first seed that was ever planted in my head. And I left there, and I did a few, and then I decided that I'm not as bad as they are.
I think it's just a process we all go through.
Yeah,
I didn't do that.
I didn't do that. Yeah. I'm not homeless, but I was like there.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I was only lucky because I had families around me and that.
Yeah.
Lucky I had a job and things, but yeah.
That's what I would say. I've got a job, I've got a family, but my family, they were at a point ready to disown me. I was on my final warning at work, and I would have had nowhere to go. So it was coming. It was definitely coming, but unfortunately I drank again, and the time went on. It was about a year, and it was bad. It was terrible. It was really bad drinking.
I always say that the last year was the bit that was you're a full on bona fide alcoholic.
I was hiding vodkas in my sock drawer. Yeah. Laura couldn't have any booze in the house because I would nick it and drink it all.
See, I was always with people that were as bad as I was.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that situation would be like. Yeah.
So hard for me.
I was trying to hide it from my mum and my kids. I was trying to hide it.
Yeah.
Then I hide it, then you can't find it.
That's
that's a horrible one, isn't it?
Terrible, yeah. Terrible.
You've already done that mission of getting it in the house.
Yeah.
And then you've lost it.
I was getting very drunk very often and doing lots of cocaine, and I was in a very bad place, and I had some hanger-ons, and I was a hanger-on. So it's all a mix, isn't it? I say hanger-ons, I was a hanger-on too, but there was people that I thought were my blood brothers, but we were all bad for each other, you know. And I still love some of these people, but you know.
So you met a whole new group of people down here that were.
I did, yeah. They. I met a good bunch, and you know, they were a good lot, you know. But I ended up just.
Heavy drinkers.
I ended up just drinking with people like me, like I said, and we were bad for each other because no one said no. No one ever said, I think you might have had a few too many. We just drank.
Right.
But the people that I looked up to, the people I really adored, they wouldn't drink with me anyway. And if they did, it was rare, and they'd have an eye on me, really. So I didn't like that. And yeah, I started getting out loans. You know, I wasn't on much money at work, but I was secretly getting quite substantial loans.
Just to feed your habit.
To feed my habit in secret, and I was, you know, living a double life. Drinking and just going wherever, carrying it on, and once again I had alcohol poisoning and I was ill for 7 days. I threw up for 7 days and I wouldn't go to hospital because I didn't want them to know. So I threw up for 7 days, and on day 8 I stopped throwing up, and it was a Friday night.
You had a drink.
I had a drink. You know, I was drunk when my first son was born. I was drunk and hungover when Amy was born. You know, and
it's a waste of time.
it was just a waste of
life.
time. A waste of time, and I'd always drink at the wrong moment. If there was a big event, I'd drink the night before, and then I wouldn't be able to stop and miss things. I was, you know, it was just stupid. But what really changed it for me was how I felt, my mental health, like just really, really ill, and
well, at the end we were really ill. I was very, very ill.
Yeah.
And you can't do it anymore. You don't want to live, you don't want to die.
Can't do it in that horrible place where I can't stop.
I want to stop.
I want to stop, and then I don't want to stop. Even to the point where I thought I've accepted. Look, might not actually kill myself. I might just whatever. I might just go homeless, you know, and that's just, you know,
mental
that's
thinking,
heartbreaking.
it's bad for
I'll get a tent and I'll just rock up somewhere and I'll drink until I die in that tent. You know, that's don't
But
sound
no one
too
should
bad.
ever feel like
Yeah,
that,
it don't
should they?
you know, don't sound that bad
You sound
actually.
like you sound being dramatic, but it isn't. That is, it's just how you don't care.
No, I stopped caring,
Don't
you know,
care.
because it's too painful to think about. So, I mean, I think what the vicious cycle was is the guilt, the shame, resentments.
Yeah, and you've got to live with all that.
The
So you
poor
drink
me's, yeah, the poor
so you have
me.
to drink to get rid of all that. Drink again because it's so I can't
Yeah.
face that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't think about that.
Lying through my teeth to everyone, really. You know, my managers at work that I expected, lying to my missus, lying to my kids. You know, I promised my kids a day trip or we'll go away to Butlins or whatever, and I'd get drunk the night before, and the next day they'd come in and I'd go, get out. You know, and it was all that stuff that just built up. But you know, the thing is that I didn't know I had an illness, and there's a lot of debate about that. But for me, there ain't, you know, because I don't drink like normal people. So when I came round, I had a really bad last couple of drinks. You know, where I was. One of them I lied to. I came back to AA and I was 7 weeks sober. I got through Christmas and I thought, oh, this is good. And I was at work one day and the thought came of having a drink and I couldn't beat it. And I decided to tell my missus to go and have a nice night out, sleep over a friend, have a Chinese because I'm alright. But I had other ideas, and I drank a couple of bottles of vodka. Got completely off my rocker, and I had to ring my friend up in the morning to come and look after my kids, and he ended up trying to force me to throw the vodka, and I wouldn't throw it. And you know, a couple of days later I just said, look, it wasn't that much of a big deal, you know, you're exaggerating. But it was the people were seeing it then, you know, because not poor Laura, not everyone believed her, you know, because they didn't want to, you know. Like, really, is he that bad? Because I said I wasn't. Oh God, people close to me, mainly my mum and my brother and Laura, of course, they knew.
Sorry, yeah.
And yeah, so it was the 19th of February So I relapsed in January, and I had a terrible, terrible month. And I came back. I woke up, and I just was different. Like really fed up. And I woke up on a Monday morning. I'd been in blackout for 24 hours. I didn't know how I'd got home. I didn't know where my family were. I didn't know what day it was. And it was Monday morning. I'd missed work by then. And I remember getting out my bed and just dropping down and screaming for help. In tears, just like a breakdown. Just floods of tears, just screaming, please help. What can I do? You know, I don't know what to do. And there was a lovely woman that I met in AA, and she always messaged me every Monday. And it done my head in. But because I was always in trouble and I never was really honest. I'm okay, I hope you're well, and that was it.
I'm fine.
And I messaged her that Monday, and she come pick me up that night, and she took me to a meeting in Durrington, and it felt a bit different. The bloke shared, and this bloke was a chef, but what amazed me, he was still a chef, but he didn't drink. So I'm thinking, what, you don't have to leave everything. You know, like, wow. And I related to every word he said, just like I always did. And I just felt a bit different, and I felt like I wanted to really, I was fed up, and I wanted to give this my all because the options were there. You know, homelessness. Yeah, homelessness, drunkenness, craziness, suicidal crap. Give this a try, and if it don't work, I just, you know, I'm going to just carry on and go down that path and maybe make it to 40 or something. You never know.
So sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really sad.
And it's the best thing ever that happened to me that time. Something started changing in me, and I was going to meetings a few times a week, and the compulsion, obsession was there, but I got to talk about it this time.
Sharing it.
People took my phone number. What astonished me and what I found amazing was that there was people that were 6 months sober, and then a year, 2 years, and people with 10, 20 years. I just thought, what? So whatever they're doing must work. They sound like they were like me. Very, very similar. It's all very similar. There's something in this. Whatever, you know, whatever's going on in these meetings, I want a bit, and that's how I felt. And
that's what I want to make these for, is because we alcoholics have to talk to another alcoholic because we understand each other.
Yeah.
So we have to talk to one on one and in groups. You know, that's the only way of doing it.
Yeah.
There's no medication. You know, it literally is sharing and getting all your demons out and all that horrible stuff that used to that makes us cringe still now. And it just somehow works, doesn't it? And by keeping abstinent one day at a time, by not drinking one day at a time, keeping in touch with someone who understands how you think and feel.
Yeah.
And you know, I so hope people are going to watch this because, you know, you're a young man. What's life like today for you?
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's so much better. I had a baby.
You've had another. You've had another.
She'll have had one, in May. Gracie, she's 1. So
you were sober then?
Sober, yeah. So I've got the chance to actually see my baby grow properly.
And did you need to have a drink to have that baby to watch that? No. Do you need to have a drink to do anything?
No. I've done pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And my life is it's a complete turnaround. It's amazing. Just waking up without a hangover. That's
one
enough.
thing in itself.
That's enough for me. But the rest that's come along with not drinking, having people, you know, like yourselves and other people that, you know, I can talk to, you know, that have a bit more time and have lived it a bit more, that helps amazingly, you know. Even helping people that are 2 days.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we need to stop people to stop being embarrassed that they've got this drink problem, because they're, you know, by talking to one of us, we can help you. We can help anybody. You know, there's so many people that are like us. but
Yeah.
not everyone's coming out. with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I know, it's sad. There's a lot of...
It's really sad. And you haven't got to be too young. You haven't got to be too old. You haven't got to be too anything. You're probably going to be too drunk. But I think that's about it, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else?
No,
That was so honest, Charlie. That was really, really from the heart and honest. That was really lovely. And I'm sure there's a lot of young men out there like you that are going to take comfort from this.
Yeah.
And you know, I hope things work out with your first child, because I think every day we stay sober. Every day we stay sober. It's like a saying sorry again and showing people, we're in this for the long term.
Yeah, definitely.
Touch wood.
Yeah.
If you keep doing the right things, stay away from the pubs, talk, share. If you get worried, you get a funny day, we get wobbly days, we need to speak to another alcoholic.
Yeah, that's it. Speaking to another alcoholic.
That is what it is, and that is how we stay sober.
Yeah.
So I just hope this journey carries on for you, because you've got lots of things to stay sober for. Love your family.
Thank you, Lisa.
And your health.
That's it.
Right,
thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.